If you're a fan of Discworld and you are looking for a new sub-series that has a lot of characters in the cast, then today's book just might be for you. Today we are taking a look at Guards by Terry Pratchett. Welcome to Spencer Reads Everything. I'm your host, Spencer Duncan, and today we're taking a look at the 8th book in the Discworld series and the first book in the City Watch sub-series, and one of my absolute favorite books in the series, and I think a lot of people's favorite book in the series. Highly regarded and a lot of people's favorite sub-series, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I think part of that is expectations. When we think of a medieval concept of any kind of city watch or small policing group, there's usually this element of ineptitude, and that certainly is going to be part of this series, but it's also just an effort at trying to humanize a group of people that come together, and we're actually going to see them resist that characterization, and in this series we're going to see them become quite capable at what they do, and I think that's one reason why people really enjoy this sub-series. That isn't to say that you don't have your oddities and your quirks with each of the members of the City Watch, but they also show incredible abilities to learn, adapt, and at the same time it's Discworld, so to also lack any real self-awareness, which is a common theme within the Discworld series. So in this introduction to the City Watch, we're going to start with a secret monastic order that devises a plan to overthrow the patrician of Ankh-Morpork, which I don't know if I've said this in the past, but the patrician is the ruler of Ankh-Morpork. We've been introduced to other rulers and kings of different areas, but of Ankh-Morpork, he is called the patrician. Why the patrician, I don't know. I'm sure there's some commentary on that that I've maybe missed at this point, but that is the ruler. And so this monastic order is going to try and overthrow him and install a puppet monarch that is going to be under their control. They actually summon a dragon to terrorize the city with the intention of having their puppet slay the beast and to help claim to be the lost heir of this long-lost royal family. And that introduces us to the Night Watch, who are typically regarded as corrupt and I'd say pretty inept. But they're going to begin to transform when there's this new arrival who is a very eager recruit named Carrot Iron Founderson. He has an absurd last name because he's actually a human raised by dwarfs, which is a big part of his humor and a big part of his lack of self-awareness. And when the librarian of Unseen University, the orangutan, as you may recall, he reports that a magic book has been stolen. And so then Captain Vimes is going to actually connect the theft of the book with the dragon's sightings. And Captain Vimes quickly becomes one of the most important characters in City Watch, and he is going to be the one that tends to take on a detective role, although in some of the later books, all of them work together to essentially take on detective roles. It's actually during this investigation that the Watch meets Lady Sybil Rampkin, who is, come to find out, a breeder of small swamp dragons. And she actually gives them an underdeveloped dragon named Errol to help serve as a mascot for the City Watch. And so initially the order's plot, the monastic order's plot succeeds, and the patrician is deposed. And then the new king takes the throne. However, the dragon returns and he takes control of the kingdom and demands gold and virgin sacrifices, and he plans to conquer the neighboring lands. And that's something that really surprises and garners support of many citizens. And so Vime confronts his old friend, Lupin Monza, the patrician secretary, and he discovers that he is the supreme grand master behind the dragon's summoning. And so Vimes is actually imprisoned alongside the patrician, but with the help of the librarian he escaped, and then he rushes to rescue Sybil, who has been chosen as the dragon's first sacrifice, and after the watch fails to kill the dragon with a 1,000,000-to-1 chance shot, which is one of the funniest parts of the whole series, is this discussion of increasing their odds, and you have to read it. It's very funny. But they have this 1,000,000-to-1 chance shot, and Errol battles the larger dragon and actually knocks it from the sky. And so as the crowd closes to finish the job, Sybil begs for the dragon's life. And so Carrot then arrests the dragon, but Errol allows it to escape, revealing that the battle was actually a courtship ritual between the two dragons. And then Vimes apprehends Wonsa as he attempts to summon another dragon, and following Vime's order to throw the book at him, Carrot literally hurls a copy of Laws and Ordinances of Ankh-Morpork, causing Wonsa to fall to his death. Not the most noble of ways to die, but that's part of the humor. And then, of course, the patrician is restored to power, and he offers the watch a reward, and they request a small pay raise, which is another one of the humorous elements, is just how pitiful their income is. And so they frequently are talking in terms of like single dollars or $2 or $3, when at other times, just as you would expect, you're talking in hundreds or thousands of dollars. But they're so poorly paid that this is actually something that keeps coming up throughout the rest of the City Watch. They also request a new kettle and a dartboard, and since the original Watch headquarters was destroyed by the dragon, Lady Ramkin is actually going to donate her childhood home at Pseudopolis Yard as their new station. And again, you can hear that play on words and that reference to Scotland Yard. So this is the first book of the City Watch, and there's all sorts of great characters in there. The most notable ones early on are going to be Carrot and Captain Vines, although you will there's several others, and you will see even more with the subsequent books in this series. This is a fantastic book to begin with. If you have not read any Discworld books, and again, you don't think you want to read all 41 of them, or you're just not sure you want to start, this is a good one. I will say that it does have some stronger commentary on social classes and class relationship in a way that you don't readily get in all the other books. And I would say that there is very deliberately in this book, there is just clearly a culture of upper and lower classes and conflicts that arise from that. And some people may not particularly enjoy that, or they just might not find it as funny as I did, but I think that it's one of the key elements of the City Watch. And it will continue to play a role in the subsequent City Watch books as you see these pay raises increase their lot in life, at least a little bit, and how that affects their relationship with the patrician and just with Ankh-Morpork as a whole. Like I said before, I think one of the things that makes the City Watch so appealing is that it is deliberately playing against expectations, and I think that that's something that is in many regards the opposite of what you see in most Discworld books, or the play against expectations goes the other way, and wherein you would think you would find a big burly character, instead you get someone like Cohen the Barbarian who doesn't even have teeth. In this regards, it's going the other way around. It is taking a group of people you'd expect to be incompetent and showing that they do have particular abilities. That isn't to say that you don't have your very humorous moments, like the discussion of the odds of hitting the dragon based off of this incredibly low chance, and how they understand the probability of making that shot, which is also a reference to Lord of the Rings. So you can again see other cultural references being tied in here. Who is this for? If you think you want to read Discworld, or at least some of them, this is a great book to start, especially if you don't think you're going to read all of them. I will say that I think a lot of people like this series the most, and so you may quickly run out of City Watch books and then go and try to read another series that you just might not like as much. I personally think Death is fascinating, but I've heard a lot of other commentators that they're just not as keen on Death. I like Rincewind, and a lot of people don't like Rincewind. I like them all. I like the diversity. If you are confident that you don't want to read all of them, but you do want to try out a subseries, this is a good one to start. Again, you have to like fantasy, you have to like satire, you have to appreciate a British sense of humor, and if you have all those things, I think this is a good book for you to read. Who is this not for? Well, you know, people that don't have all those things. If you're not interested in satire, if you're not interested in fantasy, and you're not interested in a series that is an ongoing commentary on our society as a whole and does it through a means of hyperbolic and caricatured representations in a fantasy series. But please, let me know if you have a difference of opinion. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and until next time, keep those pages turning.